Greetings, Redheads. Thank you for joining me in another episode of your favorite show, the one, the only Red's View. Of course, I am your gracious host, J Red, joining in live on a Thursday. Hopefully, everybody's having a good Thursday so far. Give me a minute so I can go live on IG because we're going live on Instagram today. We're covering all grounds today, baby. Okay, so we are live on Instagram. We are live on YouTube and we're live on Facebook, ladies and gentlemen. So before I begin this video, this live stream, make sure that you subscribe to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/RedsView. If you're on Facebook right now, join in on the discussion in the chat section, hit the like button, and hit the like button on YouTube as well. Hit the like button or the dislike button. Also, hit the like button on Facebook so we can have a good discussion, healthy discussion. Shout out to everybody that's on Instagram that's watching because we have a lot to address tonight. We got a lot to address tonight. And tonight, of course, I'm going to address this whole Kamala Harris situation. And I'm going to give you the real reason Kamala Harris lost the election. I'm going to give you, from my observation, from my personal observation, my analysis on why Kamala Harris lost the election. Now, of course, we've seen this happen. I knew it was coming. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at all. I'm glad that no violence came out of this. This has been brewing. I'm going to be completely honest. I know a lot of people have been blocking and unblocking people. Let me start off by saying this, man. If you can't agree with someone's opinion and you want to block them or delete them, I could see if they're being a bigot or if they're saying something disrespectful, but there are people who vote for who they want to vote for. Everybody has a right to vote for whoever they want to vote for. I just hope it's not off of ignorance. Meaning, if you wanted to vote for Trump, you vote for Trump, Jill Stein, Dr. Cornel West, or Kamala Harris. It's all good as long as you have a solid reasoning behind it. But we know it was a lot of misinformation thrown around, just like the last couple of elections. But, it's important that you know the information and know the policies and know the details and everything. But, I know that it's a lot of people who are uptight. There are a lot of people who are in their feelings. A lot of people wanted Kamala to win, but obviously America chose Donald Trump. So we want to know the reason why. A lot of people were shocked. I was not shocked at all. I was shocked that a lot of people were shocked. I saw there were a lot of tears. I saw people have been crashing out. A lot of Democrats, a lot of people in that Democratic Party. There have been a lot of people who just been crashing out over this. And I'm looking like, why are y'all not seeing what I've been seeing? Right. But I know there's a lot of ignorance. That's why I'm here to talk about it tonight. Feel free to join the discussion. The chat is available. The chat is open. And I want to hear what y'all have to say as well. If you agree with me, if you disagree with me, it's all good. But we're going to talk about it. All right. So the first thing I want to talk about first is do not blame black men. Don't blame black men for Kamala losing. Okay. Because I knew that was the narrative and it's luckily it's not going as they plan, but the narrative, whenever the Democrats lose something, they blame black people, specifically the black man. But black men, if you look at the charts, black men did show up, and there was a large percentage of black men over every other race group, the men in race groups that voted for Kamala Harris. So I don't want to hear all that. Black men did actually show up to vote. Now, is there truth that a lot of black men showed up to vote for Donald Trump? Black men did vote for Donald Trump. But there's a reason as to why black men felt like they had to do that. But if you look at, I think black men were like 82% of the vote for Kamala Harris or something like that. They have the charts. I didn't feel like pulling it up, but I get tired of that weak narrative. It's not going to work this time. This was purely about America choosing Donald Trump at the end of the day, whether you liked it, dislike it. Some people feel like it's unfortunate. It is what it is, but that's what this is solely about. So don't blame the black male. Now, the first thing that I'll say is the reason why Kamala lost is because the Democrats ran a horrible campaign. The Democrats ran an awful campaign. They were out of touch with a lot of what's going on today. They didn't reach the people that they needed to actually reach, which I'm going to go into detail about. But just overall, I understand that this was a last pretty much last minute decision. I think that they planned on Joe Biden holding office for 8 years instead of 4 years. But, basically Kamala was their contingency plan. Kamala was their backup. And of course, she didn't have a strong enough base and a lot of time in order to be able to garner the votes that she needed to, but she did what she did in the time frame that she did have. So, it is what it is with that. But yeah, I think that the Democrats overall didn't do their due diligence, and they ignored a specific group. And I'm going to go into that group. I think that they alienated the Black grassroots movement. I think that the Democrats alienated the Black grassroots movement, ladies and gentlemen. And the reason I say that is because we as Black people are a large voting base. Everybody knows that, right? And we've been voting Democrat for the last few decades. But the thing is, when we're asking for specific tangibles, i.e. reparations, anti-Black hate crime bill, allocation to resources, I could go on and list a whole bunch of things that we've been vocal about in the Black community that we want. There was there were 2 reparations rallies, Foundational Black American rallies that took place. And Black people have been stressing what they've wanted for the last, I say the last 8 years. There's been a big grassroots movement that has been going on from the Black community, but they alienated the Black community. See, Kamala and them, what they did was they said that they came up at the last minute with a Black agenda for Black men. But when we read the fine print, it really wasn't any tangibles in there for us. And they didn't address reparations. Now, the Republicans didn't either, of course, but they didn't. The Democrats, I'm talking about them right now, they didn't address reparations. It didn't feel like they were listening to what we wanted. And we know politicians lie, but I'm like, dog, y'all couldn't even lie about what y'all would do for us. It felt like they went around circles and alienated their voting base. And there are a lot of people who either didn't vote at all, or they voted for the opposition, or they voted like for anybody but Kamala Harris. So I think that the Black grassroots movement was trying to make a statement for not voting for Vice President Kamala Harris. And the thing is, this should show the Democrats that if you want to get the Black vote, you can't just show up and ignore the Black vote. You have to give and provide actual tangibles to what people are demanding. If you want the vote, earn it. But you can't just ignore the stuff. And, she was on record saying that she wasn't going to do anything specifically for Black people. That's a crucial death blow in this particular election. So that's another thing. And this is another thing right here, man. I think that they focus way too much on Kamala's race, way too much on her ethnicity, because of her being this Black woman, right? Now, of course, there's a lot of information out there that shows that this woman was not a Black woman, but her race doesn't have anything to do with it. Instead of focusing on her ethnicity, all they had to do was give policy. You focus on policy rather than race. They ran the whole thing where she's a Black woman. She's a Black woman this, Black woman that. And it's like they gave that as a reason for Black people to vote for her, or people in general to vote for her. And if somebody had no interest in voting for her because of her race group, they said that you hated Black women. So I saw more defense instead of offense when it came to Kamala. I saw way more people trying to defend her, especially there shouldn't have been this whole, think about this, man. When did they announce that she was running? Was it August? I think it was August when they announced that she was running. From August all the way until now, there has been way too much energy spent on defending this woman's Blackness. There have been way too much in it. It's way too much. So instead of that, y'all could have used that as an opportunity to just present policies. Remember, it took her a while to even start getting interviews. And even when she did start speaking and stuff, it took a while for us to see what the actual policies were. So But what was pushed in our faces was that she was black. She was black, and there have been so much research done to where Candace Owens did like 8 videos researching, digging to see if Kamala Harris was indeed a black woman. And we found out that she wasn't. But regardless of that, I don't care if she's black, white, Hispanic, whatever. That shouldn't have been the focal point. But the Democrats use that as a selling point in order to garner the black vote for one, and everybody else as well. But I think specifically for the black vote, they focus way too much on Kamala's race instead of focusing on tangibles for black Americans. I promise you that's all they had to do. Shout out to Lorenzo Evans. You said the energy to discredit her blackness by black people was a real issue. Not to mention she lost because Americans don't want a woman telling them what to do. While there is some truth to what you're saying at the very end, I disagree with you saying the energy to discredit her blackness by black people is the real issue. No, because that was promoted. There wouldn't have been all of this if that wasn't the focal point. I just saw a whole bunch of things. Oh, she's a black woman, she's black woman, she's black woman. That's what they were running off of. And black people were questioning what she really was. If you're going to market to her, to us, and say that she's black, then people are gonna be like, okay, well, what's her background? Because I know she, for the last few years, she's been promoted as being Indian. And we had to dig in and see exactly what she was, because it felt like she was cosplaying being black. So that was the issue. I don't think it was because people were trying to have this energy purposely by discrediting her. That's what was pushed to us. He said she was promoted as a black while running for VP too. Yeah, but before that, she wasn't. When she held positions and everything like that, go back and look at the articles. It was first Asian Indian American. We didn't start hearing about her being a black woman publicly like that until this vice president position came out. So they focus way too much on her race. All right. Now, let me go to the next reason I feel that the Democrats and Kamala lost the election. The fear mongering. The fear mongering with Project 2025 and Trump. Now, Trump, is he the bad guy? Yep, he is. Project 2025. Should people be concerned about Project 2025? Yes, they should. It's a 900-page document that is some stuff in there that I don't agree with. Now, am I scared of Project 2025? No, I'm not scared of it. But there was a lot of fear mongering going on, and it wasn't enough policy being pushed. See, the thing is, you could do both if you wanted to. Project 2025 is bad. Donald Trump is bad. But what are you doing to counter that instead of just telling me that this is bad for you, this is bad for you, this is bad for you, right? That wasn't a strong enough point to garner the votes of the American people. Project 2025, a lot of people are going through Project 2024 right now, and their pockets are low, inflation is high, and everybody is thinking about the economy at this particular point, right? And I'm just speaking about the average person. The average person isn't going to look at Project 2025, read all 900 pages to see exactly what it was. A lot of people just saw different clips, different excerpts from what came out of Project 2025, and a lot of those weren't even verified. But saying that you should vote for me because this person is bad isn't going to be enough to gain the vote, to gain people's votes. I think that they focus too much on the fear mongering and just, you better do it because if you don't, Trump is going to get you. Trump, 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 Trump. Instead of saying, okay, yeah, Trump is doing that, but let me tell you what I'm doing for you. Let me show you what I'm doing, right? And when she did finally start doing that, it felt weak, to be honest. It didn't, obviously, because it was not just white people that voted for it, it was black people, Hispanic people, and a lot of there were Indian people, there were Asian people. It was more than just white folks that voted for Trump. So all that fear mongering stuff that they were doing, it's the same fear mongering that they were doing with Trump 4 years ago, right? But that was during COVID, but they spent too much time on that. All right, this is one of the biggest parts right here when it came to the black community. Let me see how we looking. Shout out to everybody that's watching on Instagram right now. You said they were insulting us as if we were stupid. Exactly. Yeah. Shout out to Castro 456. All right. Now let me get back to this. So the use of celebrities and hypersexual rappers. The use of celebrities and hypersexual rappers. Now, is it a problem with using celebrities in order to encourage people to buy products, to encourage people to vote, encourage people to play sports, encourage people to do whatever, right? There's not a problem, using celebrities. However, you need to use the right celebrities for one. And for two, you have to realize that we're in 2024 and we can separate entertainment from politics. We can separate entertainment from policies. We can separate entertainment from business, right? There's a time and place. But with this election, last one too, but this election in particular, they felt like they wanted to blur the lines between time and place. It felt like they wanted to blur the lines between proper etiquette, just responsibility, image, and all this other stuff, right? So when I say that celebrities aren't gonna make people necessarily want to vote, it could encourage people to do it, but that's not gonna make people that want to get out there and vote. They had Usher, they had Beyonce, they had Tyler Perry. I'm not against using celebrities, however, you need the right ones. The big issue was Glorilla, Sexy Red, Megan Thee Stallion, and Cardi B. Okay, the female rappers of today are hypersexual. Let's keep it a buck, right? There's a time and place for that. Glorilla makes some dope music. I'm not a fan of Megan Thee Stallion music, but a lot of people like her music. You don't bring them to your rallies to twerk and perform on stage because the lyrics that they have isn't fitting for that type of event. Or I'll say this, even if you did want them to come and perform, what do you need to do? Have them make a song specifically for that event. I'm not even saying that you couldn't have used them at all, but specifically for that particular event, why did Megan have to use Body Yaddy and all the other songs that she was doing, and she was popping it on stage? See, they thought black folks weren't going to be able to differentiate and separate the ratchet behavior, hypersexual behavior, and the business that needs to be handled. You said, bro, everything they said was true. Trump using rappers and celebrities, but we only get mad. Okay, he used the right celebrities, but Amber Rose, when Amber Rose when Amber Rose went up there, was she twerking? Was she twerking? Did she perform? No, she did not. Now, of course, her representation of being a slut, the whole slut walk thing and everything like that. Yeah, I agree with you. That ain't a real good look, but at least when she went up there, she talked like she had some sense. But bringing out Glorilla, no. And see, this is the thing. See, Lorenzo, what you're talking about, you're trying to stoop down to their level, the Republicans. Why don't you let them do that? See, because if you're marketing to black people, you need to garner black people to vote. I hate when we do that. We try to look at what white folks are doing and then try to say, well, they're doing that. We're not like them. They not like us. So when we were raised with tradition, a lot of them are belligerent. We know that. We know that voting base. We know what they own. Why do we need to try to compete with that? We don't need that. No, we don't need Sexy Red endorsing Kamala. I said Kamala Trump. Lord have mercy. Y'all get me going today. We don't need Sexy Red endorsing Kamala Harris by bending over with some stickers talking about saving our coochies. See, and the thing is, they thought that would work, and people like myself made videos saying that wasn't good and that was a bad idea, and look what the hell happened. Y'all wanted to do this whole, those people are young and they got a fan base and they listen to them and Bro, listen to me. If there's a lot of backlash from it, that's not a good thing. That I can guarantee you, and it showed now. Megan Thee Stallion being on stage did not make females that are fans of hers want to go out, stand in line to vote. I can tell you that firsthand. That is not what it is. Now, if Megan would have got up there and just spoke, attempted to do what Cardi B did, because that was a bad look too, that would have been different. But bringing all that ratchetness and the hypersexual stuff, it wasn't going to work. That was a slap in the face of the black community. And most importantly, that was a slap in the face to black women. There were a lot of black women who felt offended. Even people who were supporting Kamala had to call that out. So that was a dumb move. Why would you do that? But it showed you how out of touch they are. How out of touch they are. You mean to tell me, if we're not talking about time and place, do you think Bill Clinton would have brought Lil Kim out in the 90s to help endorse him, or to perform Crush on You on his on at a rally? Right? Do you think George Bush, or Al Gore rather, because he was running Democrat, do you think Al Gore would have brought out Trina during his presidential run to be the voice of black people? Do you really think that that would have happened? No. We looked at that back then. If Lil Kim would have got on stage, or Trina would have got on stage and everything like that, folks would have been bashing it. But I know female rappers have got more popular, but there is the Lil Kim birthed a lot of these female rappers. So equivalent, I want you to think about that. Having Lil Kim back there, you know, when her pussy was out, her legs wide open and stuff like that. Like, do you think that Bill Clinton would have had her in his presidential campaign? Not. I don't think so. I don't think so. Shout out to Zero on the bill. He said, imagine donating to a mug who has enough money to fund their own campaign, and they use it to fill their pockets and have a coochie popping contest for 2025. Shout out to the Hot Boys reunion. Yeah. You got to check out my video about the Hot Boys reunion, man. I could have shed a tear, bro. I could have shed a tear. Cammy Low Key TV, man. This is my guy right here, man. One woman can't be empowered, bro. Damn. He's a woman can't be empowered, bro. See, she was already in her feelings because she didn't win. I saw that. Zero, you said people don't want to see entertainment and politics. It has nothing to do with race or gender. We use entertainment to get away from real life. Thank you. And what you said, Clinton would have tried to cram Kim. That probably we want to Arsenio. Yep, Arsenio. Can't be low key, boy. You crazy. Lorenzo, you said we hold Dems to a totally different standard. Trump had the Gucci gang guy campaigning, so that's clearly not. Here you go bringing up Trump. Bringing up Trump. I'm talking about the Democrats right now, and I'm not worried about what white people do. I'm worried about us and what they're marketing us to. What, you know, who they're marketing us. That the Gucci guy, he's up there, but he ain't talking about Gucci and all that. See, I think you're missing the point of what I'm talking about, bro. You're missing the point of degeneracy. Being on stage rapping. Why would Glorilla be talking about I ain't got no hitters and my hitters ain't got me? They make too much vulgar music to where you can't even have a clean version of it. Like, it used to be a clean version of a song and an edited version of a song. Edited version means that you just try to bleep out the words, but it's still, if I say I ain't got no hitter and a hit ain't got me, you know you saying nigga, turned up with my bitches. You know, turned up with my sisters, like all the stuff she was talking about. You can't clean her lyrics up. So edited means you just try to bleep it out. But back in the days, the rappers used to make totally clean versions so it can appeal to radio. So it could be, you said that's who she ran against. If folks still voted for him, what's the difference? Folks voted for him because of different reasons. I'm gonna get to that, but let me keep going. So yeah, hypersexual rappers having Cardi B talk. And you already knew what her background was. This woman literally, now being a slut like Amber Rose, and I'm saying that because that's what she did, the whole slut walk. Being Amber Rose and being Cardi B are two different things. Cardi B actually went on Instagram Live and told the world she drugged men and took their money when she was a stripper. She drugged men and robbed men and left with their money. And you're having that person, and she's kind of illiterate too. English is her second language. So you have that a woman talking about WAP, wet ass pussy, her and Megan Thee Stallion. You have that up there. Don't you realize there are scholars, there are everyday workers, presentable. You can't go in the church and do that. You know what I'm saying? That's time and place. But politics, you want to blur the lines and everything ain't time and place. I get it. All right. Now, let me move on. Bringing out Obama to shame black men. That pissed off a lot of black men, ladies and gentlemen. That pissed off because I was pissed off when that happened. Bringing out Obama, who did nothing for the black community. Absolutely nothing for the black. He has a bad rep with the black grassroots community. Okay. So bringing him out and condemning black men, trying to that fear, that shaming tactic, shaming black men into voting for Kamala, getting on to us like he's our daddy or something like that. That said, that was real bad. That was a bad look. That's another reason why it was so bad to where I think a lot of men probably said, man, F Obama, I'm gonna vote for Trump. F Obama, I'm gonna stay on the couch and ain't voting for nobody. That was another thing. Nobody could really even defend that. I think Spike Lee tried to defend it, but that was a fail. That was a fail. Obama doesn't have that standing in the black community anymore because we voted for him. I voted for him. And I was ignorant back then, but I voted for Obama because he was black, right? But as I got older, I realized that's not the way to vote. They tried to make Kamala Obama 2.0 with the whole, oh, she's black. The difference is Obama didn't promote that he was black. He just promoted hope, change, and all this other stuff. But they said Kamala is a black woman. You know what I'm saying? So that was a fail getting Obama out there. I don't know what the hell they was doing. You said they got that one just as bad about what he did to women. He said Amber also DM'd IG girls to get them to work for her, most likely do the same. And you said reminds me of Earth, Wind, and Fire first job episode of Dolomite. Joe, shout out to Joe. You said look like an episode of Boondocks. They be making American blacks look like a joke. Exactly. Am I saying is it Jovi or Javi? I want to make sure I get it right. But yeah, bringing out Obama, that was terrible. Now I want y'all to see what Bernie Sanders had to say. This was very interesting right here. This was very interesting. So Bernie Sanders said it should come as no great surprise that a Democratic Party which has abandoned working class people will find that the working class has abandoned them. While the Democratic leadership defends the status quo, the American people are angry and want change. So let's skim through a little bit what he said. Today, while the very rich are doing phenomenally well, 60% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck, and we have more income and wealth inequality than ever before. Unbelievably, real inflation accounted for weekly wages for the average American worker are actually lower now than they were 50 years ago. Today, despite an explosion in technology and worker productivity, many young people will have a worse standard of living than their parents. Boy, ain't he telling the truth? And many of them worry that AI and robotics will make the situation even worse. Today, despite spending far more capital than any other country, we remain the only wealthy country not to guarantee health care. Yep. Let me see. What's the part? Will the big money interests and well-paid consultants who control the Democrat Party learn real reason for disastrous change, political alienation? Yeah. So he says some real stuff on here, man. He says some real stuff on here. But the thing is this, they focused not enough on the economy. See, when I think of Kamala, the first few things I think of are abortion rights, like reproductive rights, where they're talking about abortion, LGBT. Y'all give me some other stuff. It's nothing tangible, right? But it wasn't enough. Like when they asked her specific questions about the economy, she started off every single answer with, well, I was raised in a middle-class family. Me and my sister Maya was raised by our mom, and our mother wasn't able to purchase a home until I was in high school. Literally, word for word, she said that every time. When everybody asked her about the economy, nobody felt safe, nobody felt secure. And one big reason is because she's in office right now and it's disastrous. So a lot of people looked at it like, man, okay. And this was I'm saying this without any research. I'm thinking of the average person that just pick up their phone, watch the news, go to work every day, don't pay attention to politics. They're just looking at their pockets, their bank account, going to work, coming home, feeding their kids, whatever the case may be, without any type of research. They're looking back like, man, these last 4 years, I done got broke. I'm living paycheck to paycheck like never before. I'm not making as much money as I used to make. Inflation is crazy. Gas prices are crazy. and the Democrats are in office. It would be different if Kamala Harris wasn't in office with Joe Biden, but they're like, she's the vice president. She should be able to do something. She's a part of all this. So why in the hell would I vote her in office if the inflation is crazy now? She wasn't convincing people enough that something was going to change, because a lot of people were like, well, why aren't you doing it now? All this stuff that you talking about, how did you let it go to back then? And then people were like, oh, she's just vice president. She can't do anything. And then people are like, well, damn it, what is she in office for? What's the position of the vice president for? All you saw, like I said, there was more people, way more people trying to be on the defense instead of the offense. Just like, and I'm going to reference this, Drake in the Kendrick Lamar battle. The nail in the coffin for Drake was when he put out The Heart Part 6. Really, when Kendrick put out Not Like Us. But The Heart Part 6 is him waving his white flag because he was on that record the whole time on the defense instead of the offense. I haven't seen Kamala and the Democrats on the offense the whole entire time. It was easy for Trump to say, yeah, I'm going to fix the economy. Y'all remember, I gave y'all those checks. Y'all remember, there wasn't inflation when I was in office. Y'all remember, you made more money. Gas prices weren't that high. And the average person is looking at it like, okay, well, yeah, it wasn't this bad when Trump was in office. Be that as it may, a lot of people attribute Obama making that for Trump to come in and, say that he did it. Whatever the case may be, that's what they were looking at. So the selling points was the economy for this whole election. That's the biggest. That's over abortion. That's over all of this other stuff. It's inflation, because one thing that everybody in America has in common is that everybody has to make money in order to survive. And they did a very, very bad job with that. Let me see what y'all saying. You said, how can the response to that be vote for a guy raising taxes for the poor and lowering taxes for the rich? It's very contradictory. Well, what he's been promoting hasn't been that. That's what people have been saying. Trump hasn't said that himself, that he's raising taxes for the poor. Where did he actually say that? A lot of people say that that's what he's doing, but he never said that. Lorenzo, I'm just speaking from a person that doesn't do any research, and they're looking at it and they're saying he's in. I mean, not he, but Kamala is in office right now, and we have inflation. They're looking back at Trump, and it wasn't that bad back then. That's what they're looking at, and all this stuff as far as tariffs and all this other stuff, they're gonna say, okay, that's going to make things worse. But the average person don't know that. That's what you got to think about. You said, I have no idea, but why not even question why are people still leaning Democrat, Republican, and not looking at the indie party or even fighting? That wasn't the debate. Kamala literally wasn't around for 4 years after getting in office. Now, yep, that's another thing. Now she need people again and only popped up to ask for money. The worst candidate scripting I've seen in a while. And you strongly believe in the electoral college picking who they want, and popular votes don't mean shit. Now, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think the whole country picked Trump. I mean, of course they did. He smoked Kamala because they're still counting the votes in. Let me see. Matter of fact, where it's at right now, because I know he won the election, but election results. Yeah, he's at 295 because they didn't finish counting in Nevada and Arizona. But he's at 295 and she's at 226. So yeah, obviously they made that decision. But yeah, the Democrats needed to focus on that economy, and they did not do a good job with that, ladies and gentlemen. Next thing, let me see. Did I have that? So this is another thing right here, man. Trump had a more modern campaign than Kamala. And when I say that, she went like, it felt like what she was doing was outdated, going to churches, outside of like she's just doing campaign rallies. That's it, right? The media outlets that she was going to were the traditional media outlets, radio, like, with Breakfast Club. She, at the last minute, she started going to the podcast. I mean, she went to Shannon Sharp. I don't know if the Democrats realize this, but podcasts are the new popular media right now. Streamers, all this other stuff. Trump went to Aiden Ross. Aiden, and I don't watch Aiden Ross at all, but I know he has a huge following. But right after that, and Charlemagne even called her out on this. Right after that, she tried to get on Casanat, and Casanat is like, I don't even do politics. Like, I'm confused. Like, what is it? What is it? What is it? You know what I'm saying? So also, I'm gonna point this out before I get back to Trump. I saw like 3 different things of compensation that they wanted to give to people outside of Kamala's campaign to campaign for her. Meaning this, y'all know I DJ'd at the polls, right? They were offering money to post about Kamala Harris. Not DJs at the polls, but because we couldn't do it at the polls, but there was offers to actually promote for her on social media. I saw on social media as I was scrolling that there was an ad. There was an ad that said, "Hey, you want to earn some extra money? Promote for Kamala Harris." Then I got text messages sent directly to my phone. I think I still got a matter of fact. And it said something about Kamala Harris. It said that, let me see if I can find it. Let me see if I can find it. Hold on. Because I know I didn't delete it off my phone. Did I? Did I delete it? Yeah, I don't know. I think I might have deleted it. But yeah, I had a text message sent to my phone asking me if I wanted to earn money voting for Kamala. I've never seen that. As long as I've been voting, if you get money for promoting for them, right? Because they get millions of dollars. She even raised $1 billion to promote, but you have to be a part of it. You have to work for it. But I've never seen in my 35 years of living, I'm telling my age, I'm actually turning 36 this month, y'all, November 29th. But in my years of living, I've never seen that done. Reaching out to random people to get them to pay, get them to promote and you pay for it. That showed me right there that she was on the verge of losing as well. But she waited way too late to get on Club Shay Shay. She waited to see kind of what Trump was doing, and I think that she would have been effective if she hit $1 million worth of game. This is what Jay Red would have did. I would have went on Drink Champs. I would have went on $1 million worth of game. I would have went on Ray Daniels. I would have went on any popular platform that's a podcast. You should have aced that if you wanted the black vote. Why didn't you do that? I know it was all last minute and stuff like that, but you went on Club Shay Shay. But also, I think Kamala didn't do enough to garner the black vote because a lot of people were asking her soft shoe questions versus Trump was getting grilled. You know what I'm saying? Like when the debate was going on and stuff like that. But anyway, with Trump, right? When I say he ran a more modern campaign, yeah, going on Aiden Ross, going on, did he go on Joe Rogan? I think. But for example, when Biden, see Trump trolls, right? When Joe Biden called his voting base trash, that man Trump showed up in a dumpster truck with a garbage outfit on and went to the stage with that garbage vest on and made a joke about it. That is more modern than what Kamala was doing. So I think that she should have had like somebody on her team that was under the age of 40. I'm about to say 50, but under the age of 40 that knows social media, that knows better marketing and how to reach the right voters. And another thing, let me go back to these hypersexual rappers, right? Another reason why I think that was a bad move is because if you say that you want to reach Megan Thee Stallion fans, Glorilla fans, all that, right? That ratchet crowd, not everybody, but that crowd, they not finna get out and vote for you like you think that they are. They not finna come stand in line and be there. All the hood rats, all the ratchet folks, they'll turn up at the club, they'll go get some hookah, but showing up to actual handle business, no, they not finna come out and vote. That was dumb. That isn't a strong voting base. Black people are, but you have different. We are not a monolith. And they thought just because they have hit records, that means that we were going to go support. And they failed miserably at that. Failed miserably. I appreciate that, Zero. You say, oh, so yeah, he was on Joe Rogan. Okay. You said even Trump going to McDonald's serving fries. Yes, I forgot about that. McDonald's serving fries. A lot of people, some people turn their nose up at that, and he rented it out. They said that he paid for everything and they weren't actually like working. I think they had already closed, and a lot of those people came in. A lot of those people had came in knowing that Trump was up in there and stuff like that. But that's marketing, because that made people feel like, oh, okay, he's he represents the everyday hardworking man, because a lot of Trump supporters are those trailer park everyday working white folks that aren't rich. Just because Trump is rich, he marketed himself towards that underground voting base that rallied up to make sure that those country bumpkins, he represented them, and that's why they went out in droves. See, Kamala it didn't feel like she represented us. It felt like she was cosplaying us. I cook collard greens. I cook them so much. I put them in a bathtub. I cooked them so much I had to put them in a bathtub to clean them. We like, what? Like, come on, bro. Like, get out of here. Get out of here. So that's another thing. You said Harris had 1.9 million on Shay Shay, Cuban Ronnie, Coleman Marlin. What you Senecat Williams, 82. So you saying Coleman Marlin, Mayans, Tyrese John. Are you connecting all of them together? I'm trying to see what you're saying, Zero. But yeah, that McDonald's was a genius idea. And even before that, too, man. Like when Trump, also with Trump, him getting arrested and the assassination attempts. Not saying that you should create that to do it, but I mean, obviously, it made him look like a martyr, So that had some stuff to do with it too. And before that, too, I remember Trump had showed up to a Chick-fil-A in Atlanta. This is before the election had started, but he was doing his due diligence, you know what I'm saying? Showing up to where he needed to show up, What you said, my bad, I had copy and pasted. Well, okay, I was confused a little bit. You said, okay, yeah, you responded to Zero. But yeah. So yeah, man, Trump had a more modern campaign, I can say that. And I think she failed at that too. But yeah, they were very insulting. And the Democrats disrespected black people. And it is what it is, man. But one thing that I always say, because I vote based off of me, foundational Black American lineage goes to Hope Hull, Alabama, and then South Carolina. I vote based off of what is best for me and my people, right? And what I'm going to say is, black people, we will be okay. We will be okay. See, the problem is we think racism is going to go away if a Democrat is in office. We think that racism is going to be on a halt. We know that it's here, but we think that if we put a mask on it, that it actually goes away. And actually it becomes worse, because a lot of people had rather felt like to deal with the devil they knew, which was Donald Trump, versus the devil that they don't know with Kamala Harris. Or that you could say that the devil they did know. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people have tons of reasons why they ended up voting for Trump versus Kamala. Or a lot of people just stay their ass at home. And let me tell you something. When I was DJing at the polls, I noticed something. There was only one location that I was at where it was a line, right? And I'm not sure if they held people purposely out in there at the line, or it was a lot of people there and they had to take their time. But I can tell you this, it was at a church. I went down the street to another church that was like 10 minutes away, and it was like a ghost town. Yeah, people were pulling up to vote, but it wasn't a long line. And the last location that I went to was the same thing. That meant one or two things. One, people did a lot of early voting. Two, people stay their ass at home. Or three, they send in absentee ballots, because you got different ways you could vote nowadays. But it wasn't that many people like I thought it was going to be on election day. It wasn't crazy. Traffic wasn't bad, which I was surprised about, right? But black folks, no matter who's in office, we will be okay. It should make us work harder. If you feel like your life is going to be in jeopardy because of Donald Trump, which I don't understand, like we haven't had racist presidents before Barack Obama and all this other stuff. It is what it is. We're going to be fine. We will be okay. We need to do for self anyway. What you say, facts, pull up the policies and stop crime. We need to read the fine print. We have AI that will truncate all the BS that they have in those papers and define it. and we can ask it how can use policies to eat. Exactly. I'm not worried, man. As a Black American, I'm not worried about this at all, man. I'm not worried about this at all. Um, we've dealt with this before. We will make it through. A lot of y'all only want attention on social media anyway. All the people who, if you voted for Trump, I'm going to unfollow you. I'm going to unfriend you. Especially you grown men saying that shit. You grown men saying that just because somebody disagrees with you, it's like it is what it is. People have policies that they like and whatever the case may be. And if just because somebody didn't want to vote for Kamala, they didn't feel like she was the choice for him, you know. So people have the right and freedom to vote for whoever they want to vote for. I don't understand why it's a lot of this crying. You know, I know that it's something sensitive as far as like women's rights but y'all basically just talking about abortion, right? I'm not even gonna get into that, but there was nothing that I felt that was like really that detrimental. I think that I just think that all overall America wanted a change, obviously, and a lot of people were more concerned about their pockets than all this other stuff going on. And I think the Democrats didn't do a good job convincing people that everything was going to be all right. Trump did it. Trump had a lot of support. This was brewing. A lot of people feel like Joe Biden dropped the ball as a president. Kamala disappeared as vice president. And here we are right now. Here we are. But in the comments right now, y'all voice your opinions. Who do you think? Did you vote for Kamala? I mean, you don't have to tell me who you voted for, but are you upset with the outcome? Are you upset that Trump won? Would you have rather Kamala win? Or did you want somebody else to win? Let me know who you felt, because a lot of people have different feelings. I want to know what y'all think. To me, it honestly didn't make a difference. Well, no, I ain't gonna say it didn't make it. It did make a difference, but I mean, I'm not gonna be afraid of it, you know. So shout out to Eddie, my homie Eddie, man. Hey man, you need to come to Mobile actually for Thanksgiving. Boy, I hadn't seen you. I don't think I seen Eddie since we graduated high school. Ain't that sad? I don't think I seen you since we graduated high school, bro. You got to come down for LaFleur alumni. But you said the average person that's emotional over the presidential race knows nothing about their municipal government. You know your president, but not your governor, mayor, district rep. Exactly. These same folks who are complaining every 4 years, they complain. They make a big deal. And I look, as I'm talking about this right now, we got a few more hours. I said today that by midnight tomorrow, people will stop talking about it. People have already made a gripe and complain, and people gonna turn up at the club, turn up, going to get their hookah, go back riding in their Benz, and then they're gonna forget about it for another 4 years. When Trump does something, they're gonna say, see, this is why y'all shouldn't have voted for him and all this other stuff. It's not gonna divide any division because black folks are on code and black folks have spoken. What you say? You said not the biggest fan of Kamala Harris, but I didn't want another Trump presidency. Okay, I got you. You said, by the way, I got $25 that Kamala gets into office because Biden is unable to serve for whatever reason. Definitely be like, yeah, Eddie, yeah, man, come on, bro. Do you even go to Mobile anymore? Because I be in Mobile a couple of times out the year. I'll never run into you. Say, I had Trump to win every major pop culture thing this year has been Gemini versus Scorpio, and Geminis are not even making the shit close. I feel that. So yeah, man, like I said, we're gonna be all right. As Kendrick said. Now, this is the last thing I wanted to cover right here. Did y'all see the crazy Drake fans that tried to blame Kendrick Lamar for Kamala losing? I kid you not. Drake stans tried to blame Kendrick Lamar for Kamala losing. Let me show y'all this, man. Let me show y'all this. This is, and these couple of accounts I'm going to show you, these are Drake stan accounts that purposely promote Drake. Drake can do no wrong, and they dedicate their lives to Aubrey. These are Aubrey's angels. Why do grown men do this? I'm guessing they're getting paid. If not, they are moist, beta male, simp dudes who spend too much time on the internet. But look at this. They literally drug Kendrick in this, and this is my comment down here. He said, Kendrick's silence on endorsing Kamala Harris as the first black woman for president exposes the hollowness of his so-called activism. And if you see my comment right here, I said she's not a black woman, first off. Secondly, you have to be a pure weirdo to make this election about Kendrick. Wild, crazy take. Look at this. He said played not like us at Kamala Harris's campaign and still took the L. Who said, I'm like, don't you know Kendrick Lamar was pretty much talking about people like Kamala Harris? Like, are y'all retarded? Like, get the, but anyway, let me show y'all something else. This right here, Keep Six Solid. This is another one of them crazy Drake stan accounts. He said Kendrick Lamar fans are losing it today. They thought singing Not Like Us at Kamala rallies was going to gain them the black vote. You see how delusional these folks are, making this election somehow tied into the Drake and Kendrick battle. This is what you have, ladies and gentlemen. That's why I say Drake fans are very, very much weirdos, and I think they need to get themselves checks. Now, I think on the other end, these are hustler accounts. These are probably Drake's burner accounts that or accounts that are funded by Drake to help push dumb narratives, because it seems like something Drake would do. Honestly, it does. This is the same man who showed up to a Raptors game just to cut eyes at DeMar DeRozan. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what he does. So I'm hoping that the tweets that I just showed you from these accounts are not real people that really feel this way and spend their time dedicated to Drake to create false, stupid narratives. I'm hoping that's not the case. And I'm hoping this is Drake paying people to do those false narratives, which is just as lame. But how do you make this election in correlation to Kendrick? How do you throw Kendrick in that? You said, break this down. How are Canadian music fans blaming this on Kendrick? Exactly, bro. Beyonce was there for Kamala and she didn't win. That was as close to Jesus as you could get. Exactly, entertainment. Yeah. Man, think about this, bro. They had Beyonce, Tyler Perry, Usher, even though he said that he wasn't going to be in the politics, but they made him. But the Democrats in Hollywood go hand in hand. If you notice that, you don't ever see a bunch of people in Hollywood or the music industry supporting the Republicans like that. Because if you support this, even before Trump, if you are black and you support the Republicans, they automatically call you a Sambo, a coon, or whatever the case may be, right? The same thing, but I look at that with that and the Democrats, because there are a lot of coons with the Democrats as well. So there's a lot of buck dancing with the Democrats. They are both plantations. It's just they have different rules and regulations on their plantations. They both believe in white supremacy. They just have different avenues, different things that they do, different components that they use to push white supremacy. The Republicans pretty much are just straight face value of what it is, and it's unfiltered. It is what it is, right? Versus the Democrats, they try to be your friend and say, hey, I'm your friend. Come on over here. And we have stuff for you that we're going to give. And that on their back, they have their knife propped up to try to stab you. So, yeah, I wasn't surprised, though. I knew that, it looked like a desperation attempt. To be honest, it looked like a desperation attempt. Like, you get all these artists to support you at this particular point. Y'all threw the money at them, or you told them, hey, some of y'all on them Diddy tapes. So if you want your career, or if you want this next project that you want funded, you want to put this album out, you want to get this tour funded, you better get out there and go vote for Kamala. So I think that was another thing. You said, to be honest, I thought that they were going to make Taylor Swift push for Trump and have her go against Kamala, and Beyonce turns out Taylor. Yeah. They had Taylor Swift and Beyonce and still lost. Still got washed. That's crazy. Taylor Swift endorsed Harris for president after the debate on Tuesday. She has historically voted for Democrats and criticized Trump. Oh, yeah. But it goes to show you, man, that these Democrats, they dropped the ball. They're out of touch. They're not up to date, and it is what it is. But at the end of the day, we're going to be all right. And yeah, man, I just had to get that off my chest. And I gave my reasons as to why I feel like Kamala lost. The Democrats need to sit down for the next 4 years and see what went wrong, actually listen to us, because you know what? They listen to us, but they ignore us. But they crashed and burned. And it's going to be like this until they get it right. But anyway, that's been my time tonight, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Jay Red. This is the show Red's View. Shout out to Eddie. Shout out to Zero. Shout out to Jovi. Shout out to who else? Let me give the shout outs. Cammy TV. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to Lorenzo. Shout out to everybody who was in the chat today and all my future chatters as well. Again, if you have not already, hit that like button on this video, hit that like button or dislike button. It's all good. Make sure that you share it, whether it's your Instagram, your Twitter, Facebook, to help get the word out. Follow me on all social media platforms at JAYR3D, and I will see you all on the next episode of Red's View. Peace.